Hello and welcome back to Concert Critiques in Cars with Emily. So this concert was definitely a unique one for me in particular. I've never done this before, so I was a little bit skeptical and thought it was definitely going to put some negative spin on this show a little bit. So the band tonight was the Bombay Bicycle Club. I haven't seen them in a really long time, so getting to see them again was like just so great. And the opener was the greeting committee. And so what made this show kind of from the start was the fact that it was a late show. So sometimes on Saturdays when venues have an early show that starts, like, doors are at like 6 and then they end by like 9:30, and then the next show starts, the doors are at 10, and the show obviously goes until a little bit later. So this was my first late show, and again, like I said, I was a little bit skeptical as to how I would be feeling and if I would be tired and if that would, take away from the band, especially because I had known that the greeting committee was a band with a female singer, so already I was like, oh my gosh, this is just not gonna go well. But I'm happy to say that it definitely surprised me, and I'm really glad that everything kind of just worked. So let's get into the actual show. So for the greeting committee, first of all, talk about energy, just like all over the stage. Even though they didn't have a lot of room, like the singer would just dance sideways if she had to, so really give her a lot of credit. The first song, I really liked the instrumental part, and she just went into the crowd and tried to start a mosh pit, so that was pretty great. And then after the song was over, she told the crowd that song was called BBC after the Bombay Bicycle Club. Years ago they had made that before they knew they were coming on tour with them, obviously, so that was kind of cool that they were such big fans and that they got to play for them. So I really liked that they told us that. I thought that was a good addition to that. So yeah, like I said, just constantly moving, really fantastic. And so the second song, again, just a lot of energy. And so the third song was slower, and it was more of a jazzy song. So at one point, the lead singer is singing and the bassist is handing her the bass guitar, and she's just takes the bass, and the bassist just picks up the saxophone and just starts playing the sax, which was pretty awesome. Really great job on that one. So that was, again, just an interesting little addition to the show. I really liked the fifth song for sure, and even at the end of that one, the lead singer fake passed out on the stage and kind of laid there for a little bit, so that was, again, just something cool. And yeah, so the next song after the fifth song, I really liked the instrumental, but the lyrics were so chick bandy, just so chick bandy. So that was I was not a huge fan. But what was cool was, so at one point they kind of stopped the music just because, it was a love song. So she was pointing to one of the band members, and then this couple in the crowd was going crazy. So the guitarist was wait, do you know what comes next? And they were yeah. And so he was all right, so you have to scream it. And he was all right, everyone else be quiet so we can hear what she's saying. And so after everyone got quiet, he was okay, are you ready? And she was uh-huh. And so she screamed 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, that was just cool, really the very unique touch of really including the crowd, and especially for a band that's an opener. So that was really great. And then, yeah, so I really and then they ended with a really high energy song, which I thought was really good. I really liked that they ended with such a high energy song. And then towards the end of the song, she just was all right, guys, put your hands up. And she kind of stopped the song to tell us that at one point she's going to ask us to put our hands up. So when she finally did, she just jumped into the crowd and crowd surfed. So that was, again, just a lot of energy. And, for a late show and a female-led band, I was oh God, this is going to be miserable. But it totally wasn't. I was really enjoying it, and definitely a good opener for a late night band. I really liked it. So, especially compared to what I thought it was going to be. Maybe that's why I liked it so much, but whatever. Bombay Bicycle Club. Oh my gosh, just so good to see them. Last time I saw them, I was new to being a fan of theirs and definitely didn't know as many songs as I knew this time. And so my favorite Bombay Bicycle song is It's All Right Now, and I know that that's not one of their super popular songs. They never made a video for it, which I would love to do one day. So Bombay Bicycle Club, if you ever want someone to make a video for that song, I'm your girl. But yeah, so I wasn't sure they were gonna play it, but knew they were gonna play other songs that I loved, but that song in particular is my favorite, so I was really, really hoping for that song. But let's get actually into their set. So they came out and they kind of just like jammed for a hot minute. Like it was just like really intense. Like everyone was playing their instrument. It was just like rocking out. So it was like kind of an interesting random start. I like that they were just like, nope, we're just gonna play our instruments, and that's just like, we're just starting with this random instrumental piece. So that was cool. I liked that. It was short. It just was random. So then they went into shuffle, which like just having that first song be familiar, and like I love the bridge in that song, so like seeing it live again was just like, oh my god, it's so great. So then the second song they played was It's All Right Now. I was freaking out, like so bad freaking out. I was so excited, couldn't stop jumping. I'm sure the people next to me were like, this girl is crazy, it's only the second song, chill. But like loved it, was so excited about it. And then they did this thing where like, so they clapped on stage and then the crowd clapped back to them. And so I definitely was unaware of that and don't remember it happening last time. But yeah, I was like super psyched because I was like, oh my gosh, this hopefully means this is like a staple in their set, and now they play it all the time. So I was again just like so excited and so pumped to see that song. Oh my gosh, I can't express to you how excited I was. Obviously I wish it was saved for a little bit later in the set, but I mean, I got to see it and it was just such a high to take me through the rest of the show. Oh my gosh, it was so good, so good, so good. All right. Then they played Dust on the Ground, which again, it's just like seeing songs that you just know and love was fantastic. So after that, they kind of went into this new song portion for a little bit. So he said that they're coming out with an album next year. So the crowd is like going crazy. And then they played a new song, and it was okay / good. Like I was excited about it, and again, maybe it's a little bit of a bias because I was just excited about them in general, and then to hear new music from them. But there definitely was some like subtle sound things going on stage, so I'm interested to hear it recorded and see if those translate, and just kind of hear the song and be able to kind of make a better opinion when I hear the recorded version. But then after that, they played Lights Out, Words Gone, which like was such a good follow-up, because even though that song was pretty good, you just kind of get that crowd like, I mean, I don't know it, so I can't like do anything about it sort of a thing. And it wasn't like super jumpy and upbeat and poppy. So I mean, it was definitely upbeat, but it just, I don't know, it was like when you don't know a song, it's hard to sometimes get super involved in it. And yeah, so that was a good follow-up. I really liked that they played that song, and it was just a crowd pleaser and everyone was really excited about it. And then after that, they played another new song, but this new song was like immediately grabbing to me. It was like fast-paced. The verses and the chorus was like really like quicker notes and just quicker lyrics and stuff like that. So I really liked that a lot, and loved the bridge. The bridge like almost was a little bit repetitive, but then just like seeing it live and kind of noticing the subtle differences between lines in the bridge was just fantastic. So I really liked the bridge, so I'm really excited to hear that song in particular. I cannot wait for that song to come out. And then after that, again, they like kind of stuck with this whole new song thing, and they played Eat Sleep Wake. I was just so thoroughly impressed that the crowd like went crazy for that song, and I think that even like Bombay Bicycle Club was kind of like, wait, these people like really know this song, and it was just awesome to see live. I love that song, and obviously I did that on my video, so seeing that song live and being able to do the video like on it was just great. So yeah, so it was really cool to see live, and I'm really excited about that song in general. So I'm glad that they played it, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't save it to the end. And it's interesting to me that they didn't save it to the end, because I feel like they didn't think that people liked it that much. So I'm hope that DC kind of showed up tonight and was like, hey, look, we love this song, so definitely like keep up the good work. After that, they played Your Eyes, which just the instrumental after the bridge was just so good. Again, just overall loved every minute of it. After that, they played How Can I Swallow So Much, which is just like a classic song, and they let us sing the last 2 lines, which was great. And then after that, it was like a power, like rock portion of the show. I mean, like hardcore, solid, just like rock out songs, and it was so great. So they played Overdue, Lamplight, and then Evening Morning, and I mean, it was just like 3 super like just rock out songs. It was so good, and like just what a great order and what a great time to play it in that show right after you play like the big How Can I Swallow So Much. So that was just like really good choices. I really liked the order of that set. And then so at the end of Evening Morning, they just kind of stood on stage with like the back lights like lit up behind them, and they just kind of stood there, and like everyone was cheering and going crazy. And then finally, after like a minute, they came back and just finished the song. And so I don't know, it was just like random but kind of awesome. Like, yeah, man, you should be able to just stand on stage because that's how good you are, and that's how exciting this show is for everyone that was there. So I really thought that was kind of different and just kind of unique, and I'm glad that the crowd was going crazy while that was happening instead of being like, okay, like this is boring. So then after that, they said they were going to slow it down, and they did slow it down, and they played Home by Now, which was great. I love that song, and you know, the female singer came to the front of the stage, and she definitely has a bigger role in that song in general, but definitely such a contrast to the like rock out stage. But it's like, where do you put that song, right? Because you had this like new songs portion, which is kind of a lull for some people, and then you have to like eventually play the slow song. So do you put it like before you, like right after this new song lull, or do you wait until after you've had like 3 or 4 like awesome songs? So yeah, I mean, it was well placed, and again, it, you know, they addressed it, so I do appreciate that, especially with such a big contrast. So that was definitely good. And then after that, he was like, okay, like Saturday Night in DC dance party, and I kind of had a feeling this song was going to be played, I mean, eventually, but just the way the drums kind of started, I was like, this is definitely going to be Feel It, and it was awesome. And they changed the music / like some of the lyrics, they repeated some of them at the end, during the bridge, and then at the end, and it just, the changes were so good, and I love that so much, and I just love that song, and it's so dancey. So that was just a really good follow-up to a slower song, and especially with like the changes, it was just fantastic, and I was so excited to hear that song, and it was just really great. So I really liked those changes. Then after that, they played Luna and Always Like This. Again, it was just like this like group of 3 songs that was just like boom, boom, boom. Amazing songs, super crowd pleasing, loved every second of all 3 of those songs. So that was just so fantastic. They definitely didn't change as much in Luna or Always Like This as they did in Feel It, but I mean, again, seeing those songs live just in general is fantastic. Then they went off stage for an encore, and they came back and they played Carry Me, which was great. And again, just like totally love that song. So fantastic. Again, not a lot of a change from the recorded version, but I mean, can't really complain. So yeah, it was really good. And the fact that I wasn't looking at the clock, was not tired, didn't really care how long the show was going for. It was great. It was just super fantastic. I really, really cannot complain. It was so wonderful, and just like seeing them again, especially after announcing that they weren't going to be a band, and it just was like, well, at least I saw them once and they played my favorite songs, so I guess I can't complain. And if you can't hear, my voice is like totally shot because I'm screaming lyrics, which I normally don't do. As a speech pathologist, I try and not sing during concerts, but I couldn't help myself. There's just so many good songs. Oh my gosh, so scores. Oh, this is so hard. It's so good. I definitely, it's so hard because even though the opener was good, it wasn't an opener that I knew and loved, which would have probably pushed this show closer to like the 10 zone, which is crazy because I've never given a 10 before. but it's like, do I take credit off for like, it's so hard. And it's so hard, especially because for this particular show, I did look up the opener beforehand. So I listened to them on YouTube, and I really was not a huge fan, like on YouTube, but then seeing like just like the action part and the singer really like getting into all the songs and being so crowd oriented definitely made the parts of the show that I didn't love way awesome. So, but it's just not 10 worthy. I don't know. It's so close. It really is so close. And then Bombay Bicycle Club. I mean, obviously super fantastic. Really loved pretty much every minute of it. I guess the only lull would have been that first new song, just because I didn't know it and it didn't grab me immediately like the second new song. So yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, this was like, I mean, I think I'm gonna have to give this one like a 9.85. I know, like, it's so specific. I'm gonna give this one a 9.85. Because I think both bands were fantastic, and as an opening band on a late show to keep me interested and not be like dreading it, especially with a female singer. I mean, kudos to them. They definitely had a couple songs that I wasn't a huge fan of, but then they had a lot of entertaining moments that whether the song was good or not, it kind of didn't matter because they were so entertaining. And then Bombay Bicycle Club obviously was just, I mean, their songs are so good, and yeah, I mean, like I said before, really the only thing that wasn't like fantastic about their set was probably that first new song that they played. But yeah, I'm so excited to hear their new music, and I'm so glad they're coming out with a new album and that they'll be back, and I'm so excited. So yeah, let me know what you think. Were you there? Did you want to go? Did you go to a different show? Have you never heard of them before? Comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.